As we'll leave it at hell no hot topic. Oh, whoops. Jeez, your sister is a bitch, man. Ah, shit, fuck. Where am I going? Right, we're doing good. Fuck do you want?
Goals for the day, number one being, we want to get Bleak Falls done, we want to get the stone, find the Jarl and get to Whiterun, and hand that fucker in. I'm just gonna cut to the chase here. Essentially, we sold a bunch of stuff and dealt with a brother and sister domestic that's been going on. We've agreed to get the Golden Claw. We have to get the Golden Claw from a bunch of bandits that are hanging around Bleak Falls Barrow. And that is our next port of call. So we're finally making our way up the mountain on our approach to the Bleak Falls Barrow first part of the hideout. And there it is there. Before that though, I was briefly distracted by how goddamn beautiful this game is. Until they decided to start shooting at me. This is probably a good point to bring this up, but one of the mods we've got involved in here, you'll probably be able to see, is a lot of female enemies are appearing here. And the female enemies are genuinely terrifying. Now, I believe this is based off of a particular mod. It's either Deadly Wenches or something else that specifically makes more deadly NPCs that are better classed. I did try to find if there was a regular equivalent, but for some reason that just forces them all to be women, and just like in real life, women are terrifying. These ones in particular have absolute no qualms about firing off God knows how many arrows, coming up with massive defenders and a skill set larger than what I have a CV. After dunking on these bandits for a little bit, we looted them and removed some of their gear for a little bit of an upgrade our side. They did boost my confidence quite a bit dealing with these, because I remember Skyrim being a little bit more difficult with these mods on, but I guess I must have miscalibrated, or I've been handling them a bit better this time around, I thought. Nope, thought wrong, very wrong, these ones are much harder. I rounded the corner just from the side of where we were last time, and there was just a legion of them waiting for us. Effectively, my strategy for dealing with most of them was throw a sword until they fell over and then keep hitting them while they were down to try and get rid of them one at a time. It kind of worked. The Thor thing definitely feels a bit cheaty, but my god was it was rough. But this time, at least there was a few guys in there, so yay equality. Guys can be bandits too. I'm going to skip through most of this fight though, as it was mostly just me throwing the sword back and forth, trying to deal with them one at a time and abusing the level up system more than the US tax law. I'd love to say that this was a cinematic battle for the ages, but it's just Bleak Falls. So this continued for about 2 or 3 more waves. There was about 20-25ish of the enemies, which was way more than what I remember being outside of Bleak Falls. And after a few of these, I feel like I was starting to lose it. Sword does indeed go wish. We had a disagreement with these last few door bouncers, but it was resolved pretty amicably. And then just as I was heading up the steps to head into the place, this happened. God knows what the hell appeared there for a split second, but I'm fairly sure this copy of Skyrim is haunted.
What in the fuck was that?
Now, a normal person would try and stealth this.
I'm also very aware of what I can and can't do.
Once we get inside, it's pretty much more of the same from the outside for a little bit. There's a few bandits to beat, there's a couple of scripted fights that we need to go through.
Take. Bear with me a moment. Take.
After some kinetic suggestion, we loot the place and then continue down the corridors. Unfortunately, the game's instability rears its ugly head again and we are met with yet another crash.
Oh my god, stood up, crashed the game.
What's loaded back in though, we're back at it again.
Did you stab her in the back? I'm saving your life, lady.
What was that?
So I can take it myself. Oh my god, where did you two come from?
Once we get through those scripted fights, there's a mini puzzle which, so long as you have eyes, you should be able to solve within about 3 seconds. Something that became evidently very clear to me during this though was, I don't remember Bleak Falls Barrows anywhere near as well as I thought I did. There was way more enemies than I remember there being, and they were a hell of a lot tougher.
And then further down, we get to meet our old friend spiders again. The smaller spiders are pretty easily dealt with, but this is where the game starts to introduce the concept of like elite or boss enemies, and we fight this massive spider, which it happens to just be an HP sponge. After we get through that, we release this NPC who has been trapped by this giant spider, who immediately betrays us, runs behind him, only to get killed by the other spiders that were waiting in wings. Once in the burial site, we just have to re-bury most of these Nordic ancestors.
I feel like there's some heresy involved here, but I'm not entirely sure what kind of religious. And finally we made it out. Although I wasn't very happy because this was my genuine reaction.
Yeah, of course.
Why the hell am I upset that it's raining in a VR game? Now that should tell you about how deep in the hole I am with this. One of the other things you'll notice as well is that I'm not fast traveling. The whole point of the VR is to make it more immersive and more enjoyable. I feel like using the fast travel is defeating the purpose of it. If we didn't want to see it and just skip to places, what's the point? But with that, I did manage to make my way back, attacking all wildlife within sight. Starting to become a trademark at this point. But eventually the mist clears and we see Riverwood once again. We make our way back to the trader, give him his back scratcher, then we get robbed in broad daylight by selling to him for less than half of asking price. Seriously, who's the real bandit here? We did manage to trade for some more spell books, so now we've at least got the 3 basic elements and a little bit of healing.
Right, so
and then we get ready to head out for Whiterun. There's not much to say about this part of the game, but one thing I really do enjoy is actually just exploring these outdoor areas. I don't know what it is, but it's just nice travelling from place to place. That aside though, the one last thing that we've actually got left to deal with is that once we get to Whiterun, we need to figure out a way to get in, because the guards there can be a little bit of a pain in the ass. Fuck you looking at? Luckily though, there is an option just to straight up persuade. It has a low chance of passing, but we did manage to get lucky this time around. And finally we make it to Whiterun, the all-important physics playground. No, but really this is probably going to be our base for the rest of the game, so we'll be working out of here since it's dead center of the map. It's the best place to be, best place to move out from whenever we're starting a new area. The only problem is we don't have a house, we don't have a good quest line, and not enough money to actually stay anywhere yet. But all this will be addressed. So the very first thing we got to do is we got to make our way up to the Jarl, get into the area, and tell him what's been going on at Helgen, because it's not been the best. We have skipped a little bit here with the sequence break, as we did manage to get the Dragon Stone before we headed here, so we're going to be able to go to the wizard, tell him to shut it, hand him the stone, and he can get to work on that almost immediately, and then we get to go and carry on with our adventure. Next time the next 2 goes, we'll be fighting our very first dragon and hopefully trying to get a house so we can establish our base of operations. But for today, that's going to be the wrap. I'm having a lot of fun with this series so far. It's taken a lot more effort than I thought it was going to be. This part alone ended up taking 2 weeks longer than I thought it was going to take to edit. Hopefully the pace will pick up from here on out, as well as I learned how to use the Oculus Mirror after this point, so things are going to look a bit better. But yeah, getting there. Learning new things, trying to find time for this as well, and amongst the other daily struggles of life, but we'll get there. I'm having fun with this and I'm going to keep going with it for a while. Hopefully, as time goes on, this is going to get a little bit better as well. And with that, I think that'll be. I'll catch you guys after.